Ready in 3, 2, 1, go.
Madam Web is about a woman who discovers that she has clairvoyant powers, and she doesn't really understand what they are at first, and she starts to see fragmented images and flashes and visions that come towards her.
Come on!
And she slowly comes to realize that she can actually see the future.
Come on, get your stuff. Let's go. Let's try that again.
Mark? Ready, we go.
Madam Web is a female empowerment story and comedy. There's a lot of heart. There's a lot of action and explosions.
Get down!
You have a bunch of badass women kicking butt.
That's really hot, you know.
Madam Web takes place across 3 timelines. So it basically deals with how interlocking characters all intersect, but we meet them and don't understand their connection until we realize their connection's in the future, not the present.
To see the future clearly, you have to heal the wounds of your past.
That sounds like literally every therapy session I've ever avoided.
I'm always looking for stories that surprise the audience. And so I think in this respect, this kind of storytelling with these kinds of characters, it represents a fresh and original way of approaching the audience.
Will you let me drive?
What are you talking about?
I don't know, I just have a weird feeling.
I was drawn to this project because I was very intrigued by the prospect of a female superhero's superpower being her mind.
Cassie, she has a complicated backstory in that her mother died at childbirth.
She's pretty lonely. She grew up in the foster system. She's kind of a little bit rough on the edges.
And in this story, she gets to realize that no, her mother actually was doing something that was meant to help her.
I'm sorry to tell you that your baby has myasthenia gravis.
There are some promising leads in the Amazon.
That's why you went there?
Her mother was a researcher looking at spider venom and spider properties, and as she's pregnant with our lead character, Madam Web, she transfers the spider powers to her.
So, in a sense, it's a rebirth for her.
The power of your mind has infinite potential.
I was also really intrigued by how she becomes a sort of maternal figure to 3 younger women while empowering them to be heroes.
Cassie is a really fun character, but then watching her kind of transform into Madam Web is really fun.
When Cassie has the accident where the car falls off the bridge and into the water, it basically causes her clairvoyance and her powers to kick in. She begins to experience her clairvoyance. She thinks she's losing her mind. Wait, we just did this. She meets these 3 girls who, through her clairvoyance, she understands that she needs to save their lives. And so she does. She kind of just throws caution to the wind and gets really invested in 3 strangers.
It's like a woman's natural instinct is to protect, is to give. And it's almost like her instincts to do that mixed with her powers. It goes together perfectly.
And when you take on the responsibility, great power will come.
She actually finds that the responsibility in taking care of other people is fulfilling for herself. These 4 female superheroes are, you know, all very different in their own way. They all bring different skills. And sort of Madam Web, by her very name and by the very conceit of her, brings all these worlds together.
And they get to know each other and they get to support each other and empower each other into the best versions of themselves, which are these superhero versions.
The theme of empowerment throughout the movie comes from the fact that each of them go on their own journey. Cassie has to learn about her past in order to embrace the future, and each of the girls come to learn that they had strengths within them that they didn't know.
The movie is about lonely people who don't have family, who meet and end up becoming like family to each other.
Cassie! Can we trust you?
The movie's about finding unexpected family, in a way. And so it was about how do we create that family. So one of the things I like to do in the rehearsal process is sit down one-on-one with each of the cast and talk through the script.
I'm Cassie. Okay, what are your names?
It's a great way to sort of hear from the actors what they're thinking and sometimes read different parts, because that's often a way to find out how each character thinks about the other one.
New York, and my mom lives back in LA, but
we don't need your whole life story.
One of the scenes that I also really love is the motel scene where they do come together as a family.
Well, I've been learning some things, too, about my mom.
They were all so brilliant, and I remember us sitting there rehearsing, and it's one of those moments where I thought, wow, I think this really is gonna work. I think they are gonna start to feel like a family. One of my favorite Isabella moments is when she says,
"You're leaving."
And it's a moment where you just really feel that they need each other.
I have to go and figure out what is going on. How?
They finally feel that family that they've been searching for their entire lives. And they start to love and care and want to take care of each other.
You have to go to Peru.
This story is different because it's really grounded in reality. They are real, and they are messy, and they are complicated.
I'm getting a little tired.
Okay, I'm right here. Cassie, wake up!
Please.
Cassie! Come back, Cassie.
So I remember when Celeste came on set, they're in their costume, and I said, don't you wish you had that when you were younger? And they're going to be that for someone, and I think that's fantastic. And I hope there are young women out there that will see themselves, that will see an opportunity for them to be their own superhero in the future.
I really like the idea of ordinary people being heroes.